Avengers Endgame wrapped up the Infinity Saga with a perfect little purple bow. I mean, Spider-Man Far From Home was technically the last movie in the saga, but most Marvel fans forget about that constantly, so I can't blame you if you're in the same boat. Endgame was the definitive end of that saga for everybody, and then we went on to a rather underwhelming Phase 4. Most people still look to the Infinity Saga as being the peak of MCU storytelling, despite there being over a dozen new installments that have taken place since its conclusion. Marvel and Disney are reportedly very unhappy with Phase 4's performance at the box office, and in terms of streaming numbers, well, it's likely going to provoke a change in plans in order to win back old fans of the MCU and to get Marvel's hype train back on the pre-Endgame levels. Phase 5 is shaping up to be a possible course correction. Lots of heavy emphasis on the common enemy, Kang the Conqueror, and there's obviously a secondary plot with the Skrull going on at the same time. We'll get more of that in the Secret Invasion next year, but the big focus is Kang. And once he's unleashed on the larger MCU at the end of Ant-Man 3, things are going to get wild. Now, naturally, theories have been flying around the internet regarding what's going to happen next and how all these different Marvel properties are going to come together in the confrontation with Kang in Avengers 5. Well, The Direct published an article not too long ago discussing a popular theory that I think may have some validity to it. You guys let me know what you think of this. We're going to go through the entire thing. Drop a like. Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse, and let's talk about the next big team-up movie in which Avenger, or Avengers, may actually meet their permanent demise. Now, The Direct points out that in the comics, Wanda is a Nexus being, which we know. It's the most powerful being in the being's respective universe. That was the same as in the MCU. If a Nexus being is killed or compromised, it could mean the end of that entire universe's place in the multiverse. Now, it's been shown recently that Wanda is certainly one of the most powerful beings on Earth 616, and it's very possible that she's number one most powerful, which means she's also the Nexus being of that universe. Now, in the trailer for Ant-Man 3, Kang makes a brief reference to all the Avengers he's slaughtered, so he obviously knows who the most powerful beings in each universe are that he travels to. Could it be that Kang is coming to Earth 616 on a mission to take out Wanda, or her allies if she has any? Assuming this is how it goes, Wanda could be the one that makes the final big play in Avengers 5 to set up Avengers 6. Similar to how Tony sacrificed himself at the end of Avengers Endgame. It's even possible that this is going to somehow be related to the mutants crossing over in the MCU, but that's a discussion in a video for another day. The big takeaway here is that Wanda plays a major role in the fight against Kang for the fate of Earth 616 and ultimately ends up sacrificing herself at the end to save the universe. And that's another question. Are we going to end up with one ultimate universe and the multiverse is going to be gone at the end of this saga? Probably. From a business standpoint, it makes sense. We've been hearing a lot of reports about how Marvel and Disney are trying to make sure that Phase 5 is as good as it can possibly be, and how that may actually end up causing some delays for reshoots and rewrites. It's safe to assume that Marvel are going to take the victories and failures of Phase 4 into account when reshaping the future of the MCU story. And in order to get a better look at what they've been doing, we just have to look at which MCU properties actually did well. Obviously, Spider-Man is the big standout. It is a money-printing machine no matter what. But I mean, I thought Doctor Strange 2 was solid, especially after seeing some of the offerings surrounded by it on Disney+. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 expected to do well. And while the Disney Plus shows are heavily criticized, I think WandaVision still has a rather large fan base and is widely seen as one of the best parts of Phase 4. I loved WandaVision. Wanda's a very popular character right now, and when you look at the entirety of the MCU cast, she's one of the only characters that consistently brings in viewers. Doctor Strange 2 made almost $1 billion. WandaVision, pretty massive standout when compared to other Marvel shows to come out over the last few years. So, she's coming back. Now, it was obviously suggested that she sacrificed herself at the end of Multiverse, but she didn't. I think the fact that her death was off-screen, or you saw that little burst of chaos magic at the end, was just them tricking us to bring her back. Even if that version of Wanda is dead, she's not. The multiverse has an infinite number, right? Any of which can be brought to the multiverse conflict that they're putting together. Wanda's actress Elizabeth Olsen has already stated she's hopeful for the future of Wanda's story and that she's really hopeful for some kind of redemption arc. Now, the actors in the MCU, they often have things given away too early. Elizabeth has been pretty good at keeping secrets now, and that being said, if Wanda truly is dead at the end of Multiverse of Madness, I don't think Olsen would be so hopeful for her character's future. She wouldn't. I mean, you're not seeing Robert Downey Jr. out in interviews saying he's hopeful for the future of Tony Stark. The character's dead. He knows it. He's not expecting anything in the future. While I think it's very likely he returns for Secret Wars, that's another video. That's an entirely different topic. The point I'm making here is, despite Wanda presumably dying at the end of Multiverse of Madness, Elizabeth Olsen is still talking in interviews like she's coming back, and that's what we need to pay attention to for hints of Avengers 5 and 6. Kang Dynasty is going to be a huge movie. Lots of multiversal storytelling. As of right now, Wanda knows the multiverse better than most of the MCU cast, so assuming she's alive, it seems completely reasonable to expect her to have a major role, and also because of her power level. She's a fantastic storytelling asset for Marvel, and given how popular she is with fans, I am confident she's coming back. So, if Wanda comes back in Avengers 5, I think we can almost certainly expect her to be killed off or sacrificed in some way. Many of the original Infinity Saga characters they've been given some kind of send-off, and with everything in the current storyline culminating to a multiversal showdown, which it is, I think it makes sense for Wanda to be a final stand in that process. In the comics, she created that one universe or the battle world or whatever. That was her. She helped make that happen. So with the talk of giving her some kind of redemption arc, along with the idea she understands that the multiverse is, well, she understands it better than anybody else, it seems inevitable she's going to play a major role in wherever this goes. Assuming I'm right, or they're right, Marvel now has a pretty tall order. They have to figure out how to bring Wanda from the dead without completely destroying the stakes of other characters moving forward. Either that, or they have to figure out a way to explain why she didn't die at the end of Multiverse of Madness, despite pretty explicitly showing that she was sacrificing herself, but then there was a little poof of chaos magic, like I said. It was just a quick, one frame. But I guess it's not impossible for her to have survived the end of Multiverse, and it would they just have to explain it, right? Storytelling. I guess Marvel now has to decide if they want to write themselves out of that corner, or if they want to write in a new version of Wanda from the multiverse. Maybe we get the other Wanda that we saw in Multiverse of Madness, the nice Wanda. We'll see. Or are we going to get a zombie Wanda? Who knows at this point? I don't know. All I know is Marvel is totally going to try and figure out a way to bring back one of their most powerful and popular Avengers, if you would call her an Avenger right now, so she can be redeemed in Avengers 5. It's a huge arc. It makes sense on every level. Don't try to be smarter than this one. This one just makes sense. How do they do it? That's the big question. But I'm 100% certain they're going to at least workshop internally, if they haven't already. They probably have when they go on those retreats to come up with all their ideas. So you guys let me know. Do you agree or do you disagree? And do you think it makes sense? I personally do. I think this is the way they go, and I think she doesn't end up making it to Secret Wars. I think she is the reason Secret Wars actually happens. If they do the battle world, I think she's going to play a huge part. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see